Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do the follow-up video to the Christmas tree one that I did last time around. It's going to be a bit of a variation on a theme, and this is going to be white on white, or near enough anyway. I still can't find my Christmas words and things, so I found a way around that, as we crafters do. So let's get started. I'm going to use two embossing folders that I've used before, Sizzix 665293, which is the Art Nouveau one, and the Damask one, which is number 665733. As you can see, I have already embossed this. The reason I did it ahead of time was because I've misted, using my spray mister, the front and the back in order to get a good impression and to avoid the cracking, and then I needed it to dry, so I did do it ahead of time. So that's already done. I've also done this one ahead of time, and I'll show you what I've done with that in a second, because I've done what I'm about to do with this one. So I'm going to use a glitter pen thing. It's clear, but it contains glitter. Ooh. So you can probably hear the ball bearing moving about. This one is a gossip one from Stamps by Me. I don't know whether they still make these. However, there are other companies that do make them. Wink of Stella, I think, was probably the original one, the original one I knew about anyway, but other companies make them. But you want the clear one, basically. And all we're going to do is go, get the lid off, right over, just get a bit more squirting round. So literally just sploshing it on a whole lot. And just checking I'm getting glitter. Just try and squish a bit more without. Oh, there's one. There we are. I saw it moving. So absolutely no skill whatsoever required to do this, other than seeing that I've got it all over. I've actually got it all over my thing, which reminds me, if you can bear to give me a thumbs up, subscribe would be amazing, comment, share. If you've got crafty friends that might like to see some of my videos, that would be truly amazing. Right, that's covered up. So that now needs to dry. What I'm going to do with that is do what I did with the other one, which is cut it into different widths of strips, which is exactly what I did last time around. And you'll know which way is up because it'll be a glittery side. So I'm going to intermingle those, and I'm going to do the same with the other one once it's dried. I'm going to leave it doing its thing. So these ones are going to end up being cut to different lengths to make the tree. If you didn't see the last card I did in the last video, it was this one. I've got some stars made, which were made with die cuts from Craft Addiction UK. They have lots of different stars in the back, so I'm just going to pick out 3 different sizes so that I can layer them up to go on the top of my tree when it is done. That'll do it. Bit of glue. So then that can dry to the side. I do keep this little plastic doodah on there just because I don't really want to stab myself, I have to say. Okay, so next, I have created a card base, A6, UK A6 size, and a panel that is just a wee bit smaller all round. So we're going to use that. I want to create a sparkly sort of snowy dotty background. So I've got this snow, oh there you go, it's called snow background, Daisy Bee stamps. I'm just going to leave it on the background because I'm just going to use it freestyle, as it were. Bit of anti-static powder, a bit of Versamark, which is the sticky embossing ink pad. Look at the state of that. I have got another one, but it seems to still work. And we'll get, probably do this twice. So one, just give it a minute to let the Versamark stick onto the card, because I'm not doing it in a stamping platform. I can't repeat it. So you do want it just to do its magic before you take it off. Oopsie, off it comes. Oh, hecky peck. Looks like I had some colour on there. Well, I'll keep going. When I last stamped it, I don't know what colour I used. Obviously didn't clean it enough. Let's see. And I might just go upside down with this just so it looks different to the first bit. There we go. And on it goes. If it looks terrible, I'll just start again. I'm using some Stampin' Stuff. I think I bought this in a job lot from eBay about 20 years ago. So, A, does it still work? B, is it still available? Heaven only knows. But it's basically sort of iridescent glittery type thing. Okay. Oh, I don't know whether you can pick that up on the... I'm just going to stand up and see if I can pick up the sparkles. Don't know. Hopefully you can. Otherwise, you'll just have to trust my word for it that it is definitely sparkly. I'm hoping it's going to cover up that grim looking snow, because who wants to see snow that looks like that? Looks like it's snow in Victorian England. Oh, well, that is. Now, whenever you've got extraneous bits, you'll just need to just give them a bit of a nudge. Obviously got the bit on the outside of the stamp. Right, I'm back again. I've heat embossed that now, and that doesn't look too bad, so I think we'll keep going. Next job is to cut this up into just random different strips, different widths, as I've done here, and then I can intermix them. So I should be back when I've done that. Okay, I have cut up my second sheet of embossed card, so I've got 2 piles for the 2 different embossing folders. So I'm keeping those separate so I don't get in a pickle with them. And I've just selected a few of differing widths that I can use now for my base. I need to find my little trunk, but I'll do that in a minute. So I quite like the shape of that in the middle, so I'm going to roughly decide where I want. So I'm going to cut one in there and one about there. Whether I've done that a bit short or not, that's certainly wonky. This is why I use a trimmer for most of my cutting, because I just get things wonky all the time. So I'll put my offcuts out of the way. So this one is going to go slightly narrower, quite happy to just chop the end off that one. This one's slightly narrower, quite like that middle bit though, so I'm going to cut each end off. So I'm just lining the next one against the last one, as it were, so that I can get a rough idea. It doesn't have to be perfectly accurate, but that one I don't really mind actually, so I'm going to just chop an end about there, get the bits out of the way. So as I said in my last video, you could literally place them, you know, one above the other if you like the straight lines being kept. Where have we gone? That one's next. So you could do it that way if you would like to, but I just thought it was a bit quirky about there to do it with them on the wonk. But if wonky stresses you out, then don't do it. When I was teaching, one of my job shares, I was so lucky with the job shares I had, one of my job shares could not cope with things being wonky on the board, on the display boards, and so we used to tease her about it, but she was lovely and she was such a good teacher, still is for that matter. I retired and she's still going, bless her heart. She was wonderful. Still need a bit more height on this. Let's go sparkly side out. I like that knobbly bit. Can't go much narrower than that. Let's use up some of these bits that I've chopped off. Let's go for that. And looking for a nice sparkly bit. I think we should end with one of those bits, like that. There we are. And then our little star will go on the top. Comme ça. Okay. So I need to find a bit of brown card. Did have some. Where I've put it, nobody knows. Ooh, could go gold. Oh, why don't we do that? Let's be rebellious and do that. I did say it was nearly white on white. Tidying up the edge by just running the ball tool round, just sort of rounds it off a bit. Christine Stokes is a great one for this. It's sort of more akin to the effect you get when you die cut then. Top bit will be hidden, so we'll do something like that. So I'm going to just shifty those up a little bit. I'm going to stick this on in the middle. Decent amount of glue because we're going over the embossing, and about the centre of my card roughly. There we are. Right, first piece on. Decent amount of glue because it's embossed, and just try and line that up roughly in the middle. Haven't tried one of these, haven't done one ahead of time, so I'm just hoping that my idea works, that it'll look effective with the... I guess if you don't see this video, you'll know it didn't. I are, and then just making sure I get them in the right order. That one next. Just hold them down so they get, so they attach. I can always add a bit more glue if I need to at the end, but it's easier if they're right first time, isn't it? I must say, as I'm sitting here, I've spotted from a previous video this left over. I thought, actually, you could do strips of that. Wouldn't that make a fabulous Christmas tree? So again, don't throw away your bits and pieces that you've got left over. Use them again. Make the most of these resources we have. Do you know what? I don't know if that was meant to be part of my tree or not. I've got, oh, I think I've got extra bits. Never mind. Let's do that one next. I think I'm not concentrating and I've picked them up from my chopped off bits on the side. Never mind. What length is that compared to that? That's a bit shorter, isn't it? And then that's shorter still. Well, let's see. Let's put that one on. I guess if you didn't have the sparkle on, it wouldn't matter. And actually, if you got it wrong and made a mistake, just add a bit of sparkle afterwards. Oh, which way? Yeah. That on there. Gold star on top. There we go. Right, just hold that for a second while I put my lid on the glue. Now, because I haven't found my Christmas sentiments and whatnot, I have no idea where I've put them. I've searched everywhere I could think of. Hey ho. So what I did find were alphabet set, which is this one from Sizzix 664477, Decorative Type it's called, and it has some little holly leaves and berries, so that was very helpful. So I've cut out joy and some little holly leaves and berries, but I want to make them gold. Now I could use pen, but I wanted to heat emboss them. So I wanted to show you a way of heat embossing these tiny things that would normally blow everywhere, and little narrow things that would be very difficult to hold on to without damaging the heat embossing as you go. So I'm just going to clear these away and show you this little gadget. Now I cannot claim this as my idea. Quite possibly my idea to do these little tiny things, I don't know, but the idea for actually using it for embossing powder comes from Marion Emberson, the wonderful Marion Emberson. And basically it's a little, I don't know, mini pancake maker or something. Obviously this one gets used for crafting. It's not going to be used for food again because I've used embossing powder in it and stuff. Whilst I use, I just die cut some rounds of non-stick cooking paper stuff, then it's just not going to be used for food again. So I'll just get it plugged in. It's no, not overly expensive. I think it was about £14, £15. Bought it online, can't remember which company. You can get them on Amazon. You could get them at Asda. And I think I might have even bought this one from Giles and Posner straight, you know, direct, as it were. They do different colours. This was the cheapest one, so I bought it. Colour didn't really matter to me, to be quite honest. So it just takes a little while. It's a red light to start with, and it's called, can't remember if it goes green or just goes off when it's up to temperature. So whilst that's heating up, I'm just going to move it to one side. These things will be your best friend. So will a palette knife. And I'm also going to use my Versamark pen. Again, I've had this a very long time. No idea where I bought it from, but I'm assuming that they still do it. Other brands for this sort of thing are available. So I am going to do my Joy. So I shall put the Versamark on it, try and get it round the sides as well. Now, I'm going to leave that bit white. That's the base for the little berries. And I think I could use the other end. And then I just want a bit of gold round the edge. Of my holly. Oh, I'm doing really well with this, aren't I? It's like tiddlywinks. This is why these things are brilliant. Now I've sort of forgotten which ones I've done. I think I did that one, and that one pinged, so let's just do this one first. That bit. Okay, lid on there. Let's have a piece of scrap paper. Let's fold it in half. And get those very carefully on to there. Just try not to smudge the VersaFine pen. The letters will more than likely need two coats at least. And then I'm not, oopsie, don't want to lose that bit, but I'm not going to cover that. Okay, so embossing powder. I'm just about out of this one. This one I think was in the job lot with the sparkly one that I used earlier. So it's nearly finished. Slide those onto some of the non-stick. Try to keep them the right way up. Oh, you little monkey. Thank you. There we are. I've nudged it. You see the white on it? I've got 2 bits of white on it now. Right, let's scoop up a bit of that. On top we go. You might think, why bother, why bother? But it just does have a lovely effect. There we are. Right, I'm just going to show you those. Oh, let's bring this across. Sorry, just dropped my ruler. Make sure I'm in shot. Door open. And you want to just very carefully lift that in. Lid down, only for a few seconds, won't take very long at all. And then just, and as if by magic, it's going to give it a few more seconds. But it is so quick, and you get, because you've not blown it anywhere, you get a really smooth result. It looks wonderful. There we are, that's done. And I didn't have to worry about them disappearing off the face of the earth. So going to let those dry, or, you know, cool down. Let's do these ones. There we are, it's done. Actually looks quite good already. But I think I will just go for another layer. Right, in it goes to do its magic stuff. Lid down. There's something very satisfying about not having to struggle with a heat tool and little fine tiny things, and that you just open the lid and it's done it. Ta-da! Sorry, it's just, I think it's so genius. Well done, Marion. It's just fabulous. Right, so there we are. Those are job done. Look how lovely they look as well. I've still got my little behind the berries bit. I've got my 3 little leaves, although I might only need 2, but that's fine. And my 3 little berries. So they, fiddly little things that they are, can get stuck onto their little background, and that makes them slightly less fiddly. I'm just going to put my powder away in here before I send it absolutely flying. Okay. One dot. It's like nail art, it's so tiny, this stuff. Mind of its own though. Yeah. 1, 2. Oh. Oh, I thought I'd lost it. Good. And, oh. Holy heck, that's a lot of that's a lot of glue. It's just, good job it dries clear. Oh look, I've got it everywhere. Right, let's see if we can just get that on there before. Oh no. Might have to edit this out. I can't get my finger out of it. They say never work with children or animals. I'm going to add on or tiny bits of heat embossed stuff with glue. That's, oh, I've stuck my blimmin' finger again. Look, there we are. Woohoo! I think we might just leave it at that and just put it out of the way. If I can ever get it off my finger. Oh, heavens. Right. Oh dear. Let's get the lid on that glue and then work out where we want to put these things. Right, so we're going to go for Joy here. See what I mean? They're quite wide. So I think the J goes under the tree trunk. A tiny bit of, there we are. And then on the O, I'm going to put the holly and the berries. Just, are you still at the mustard shot? Hopefully. There and there. I'm just not going to put it there now. Let's just get these stuck on. Tweezers. Right, let's get some glue on there. And the O. Okay, now holly and berries. So I think we're going to go along there. Put some glue along there. Does help if your tweezers don't have glue on them and then they're sticky. Not much help at all. There. And there. Get those to stick. And then the final bit is. They're still a bit sticky. Oh, do you know, I think I might just put them on there. They're on. You can see just how tiny they are. Very minute. But quite dinky, I think. So, that just needs to go on here. But with the this being raised up, I think I will probably just stick it down flat. I daren't do it now because that lot will all fall off and then I'll lose something. But that is our finished card. Move some things out of the way. I'll spare a little bit of holly, but I don't think I need that. And then hopefully, if I just pick it up, hopefully you can just about see some of the iridescence of the background and the shimmer on the tree bits itself. And it looks quite funky with the embossing. Of course, you can use any embossing folders, you know, whatever you've got will just add a bit of texture, which sort of makes that white on white look even more effective than it already does. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Don't forget, if you've done any of my previous makes or tried it yourself, you could use something like this and you could do the same thing again. But quite a relatively quick Christmas card to make. And I will put it all together and do a final photo. But I'm going to wait till those bits are dry, because otherwise heaven knows where they'll end up, quite honestly. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed this card. I'm going to do something different next time around. Thank you so much. If you could thumbs up, subscribe, comment, that would be wonderful. And look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.